Hey everybody, how you doing? This has been a fantastic, I mean, really completely fantastic. And hey, got a notification. How about that? Watch live now. Uh, a completely fantastic Sunday. Okay, I don't understand this is Monday. Tiger Woods won his first major championship since 2008, his first Masters since 2005. And it was 22 years ago that he won the Masters while his father, Earl, was still alive. This time it was completely different. And there were those people, including everybody in this house, who were rooting for Tiger. Hey, Miguel, how you doing? But also, as it happens on Twitter, the Oakland Raiders, that's right, put out a tweet that said, pure and simple, he's back. Yep, it said he's back. He's back. It's pretty cool. If I'll show you the tweet in a second. How often does it, I don't know where you, this is one of those times where you're gonna say, okay, this is where I was when Tiger Woods played. I was here, or I was there. Or, doggone it, I missed it, and you're gonna be sorry that you missed it. Greatness of the level of Tiger Woods doesn't come often. Maybe once or twice a life, right? And that's it, okay? But when it does arrive, you have to stop and appreciate it. For those of us who watched Tiger Woods for his entire career, we got used to seeing Tiger take 5 and 6 stroke leads, even in the Masters. I mean, it was not unusual to see Tiger with a lead that was 16 under par. He got close this time around. But he's back. And you'd say, oh, how did all this start? For those of you who may not know, it was Thanksgiving 2009, Thanksgiving night, that Tiger Woods, slightly inebriated at the wheel by some reports, took off in their Cadillac SUV with his wife, Elin Nordegren, chasing him with a golf club. He hit a tree, okay? He hit a tree. And that accident uncovered a lot deeper story of marital arguments, marital discord, and serial philandering on the part of Tiger Woods. Once that all came out, Tiger was, well, essentially embarrassed. Some of his sponsors ran for cover. Others, like Nike, stuck with him. But he felt the need to change himself, which I thought was a mistake. And that caused his golf career to go like that, especially when people like Tom Watson sort of piled on and said, hey, he gets out there and curses and all this stuff. The stuff that made Tiger great, the desire to be one of the guys, to overcome being black, to play with a killer instinct of ferocity that was just not seen before, and I mean that in a good way. All of that was taken away by that, on that night, that Thanksgiving 2009 night. And it looked like he wasn't going to come back ever. I didn't believe that. So this day was for me. This day was for the Raiders as well. I mean, take a look. I started talking about this, and then I'll get to the really juicy stuff, okay? All right? From the Raiders. This is it. And tomorrow, first day of minicamp, right? First they say he's back. Tiger wins the Masters, Raider Nation. That's cool, isn't it? The latest one is, let's go get it, Raider Nation. First day of school tomorrow. So it's heating up. First day of school is when they install the offense. Learn and install the offense as it's going to be ran this year under Derek Carr and a whole new group of people. But before I talk about that or get your comments on Tiger, there is something else I must share with you, and I'll read your comments right off the bat. Arcade, how you doing? Arcade says, I've been done with Tiger Woods for 2 years now. Maybe he'll get an invitation to the White House. He's been to the White House under President Obama. Tiger is a lot like me. I am on the White House press list. Now, President Obama put me there. I have covered the landing of Air Force One when President Obama came into Atlanta. I have covered President Obama's speeches. I have yet to cover an event that has been produced by President Trump administration, but I will, okay? And because having a White House press list is no small deal. That is a big deal. And it means that you have permission to cover the doings of the executive office of the United States of America. Yeah, and I honor that. So I'm not going to blow that because someone's politics may be different than mine. That's stupid. You're supposed to report. That's the idea, okay? So, reading on. Joseph Bensman, how are you? It's great to see one of the best ever in any sport face adversity and overcome it. Tiger definitely has matured in the last 11 years. You could see it when he embraced his kids today. Congrats. Well said, Mr. Bensman. By the way, are you ready to do a mock draft this week, Joseph? John Akala in the house. How you doing? John says, John, so what do you think of this Tiger Woods win? Kenny G says, but Woods is not going to lose today. No. Woods also says, tell you one thing, Zinni, Tony Vandu is knocking on the door. Isn't he, though? What a cool customer. And I believe the first Samoan, is he the first Samoan to ever play in the Masters? At that high level to make the cut to where he gets to the final round? Is he the first? That's amazing, okay? Miguel, what say you about Tiger? I got your hello, by the way. Oh, Tongan. Thank you for the correction. He is the first Tongan to play. The first Tongan. Thank you for the correction. Absolutely. I want to now share with you. This goes on the side of, oh, geez, Eddie, you keep reporting all the negative news about Las Vegas Stadium. Well, it's not so much that I keep reporting all the negative news, but I only report the negative news that's really basically huge. I've reported the positive news about, for example, sponsorships, and there hasn't been that much positive news about sponsorships and everything too. But look, this thing's done in haste, okay? What can I say? Joseph Binsman says, coming back to the Tiger Woods matter real quick, Joseph Binsman adds this. He says, this Masters was also just one of the best played overall. Yeah, it was. 364s yesterday, amazing. And not only that, I think a record number made the cut because of the cutoff number, right? John Akala says, didn't think he would win another major, but he proved me wrong. Congrats to Tiger and his family. I never gave up on Tiger Woods, ever. Not once. It never entered my mind that he would never win. Not once. Didn't allow it. And I remember when I was watching it, and you know, my mom, who dearly loves Tiger Woods, but she's afraid that he's going to fail. So sometimes when a person's afraid that their desired outcome is not going to happen, they project the opposite. Like, oh, it's not going to happen, or oh, did he do something? And I say, no, he's going to win. I'm telling you, he's going to win. I kept saying that. He's going to win. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. It happened. And what was the most beautiful thing is to look at social media, Twitter in particular, and see the legions of people who were tweeting their support for Tiger Woods, and unfortunately tweeting that they wished his opponents would fail, which did happen. I mean, every time, for example, Francisco Molinari looked like he was going to make a misstep, they were cheering. And so, of course, when he did make a misstep, they cheered. It was wild. I mean, I don't cheer for anybody's demise at all. Well, that's not true. Because I got to admit, when it got to the 12th hole and he went, I was like, yeah! I wanted Tiger to win like nobody's business. I really did. John Akala says that he probably won the biggest major in the sport of golf. Absolutely. I even tweeted Lindsey Vonn. I said, hey, come what may, you got to smile. And reportedly, Lindsey was upset that Tiger, I guess, had cheated on him or something. But here's the thing, all right? With respect to Lindsey Vonn and Tiger Woods, if you take a look at Lindsey Vonn's foundation, okay, I'm typing right now, Lindsey Vonn Foundation, and yeah, right here, okay. Her family foundation was such that well, it's got a different website now. So let's see here, about board members. Oh, okay, Tiger Woods was on her board for a year. He's not anymore. So I was about to say, well, Tiger Woods is on your on your foundation board, and he was on her foundation board, at least listed on her foundation board, for some time after they broke up. So I thought, and I'm now seeing this is not the case. I thought he was still there, and he's not. So okay, so I guess they're completely broken up. There you go. Didn't know that. Oops. So yeah, I guess she's pissed off. All right, she's pissed off still, because, you know, hey, I don't know his side of the story, so that's about it. All I'll say about that. But he won, and he won in spite of all that other stuff, right? Oh boy, oh boy. All that other stuff. Okay, now, there is one thing that I will say, also, as we segue into the business end of this, all right, as far as the whole bad news thing, all right, this is not, it's not classically bad news. It is, it's news that should be more widely reported, what I'm about to tell you. And I think it's news that when you see it, you're going to say, gee, how come we weren't told this before? How come we weren't, how come this is something that we didn't more widely hear about, right? Okay. So, and it's this, what I'm about to read to you. Basically, it's like this, all right? It came at the Las Vegas State, it was announced at the Las Vegas Stadium Authority meeting of the 21st of March, even though the letter that I'm about to read to you was originally written on the 5th of March. It goes like this. This is to Stephen Hill, of the Clark County Stadium Authority, all right? He was also the executive director of the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority. It says, this letter is to inform you that Merrill Iron and Steel, a subcontractor to Mortenson McCarthy Las Vegas Stadium, a joint venture, recorded a mechanics lien against the Las Vegas Stadium Project Property lien, Las Vegas Stadium Events Company, LLC, Stadco, that's really the Raiders organization, is providing this information pursuant to the development agreement. MMJV, pursuant to its design-build agreement, MMJV is Mortenson McCarthy joint venture, okay? Mortenson McCarthy joint venture, pursuant to its design-build agreement with Stadco, the Raiders, posted a lien bond to replace the lien. Copies of the lien and the lien bond are attached to this letter. Please contact me at your earliest convenience should you wish to discuss this matter further. Sincerely, Don Webb, the Chief Operating Officer, okay? And a mechanics lien, to make this really easy, is done when you feel you're not going to be paid for the work that you're doing, all right? And there was mentioned only by one organization, the Las Vegas Review-Journal, and even then, when it was mentioned, it was only in the context of the fact that it was brought up in the meeting. It wasn't something that, it was buried in the story about the delivery of steel components being delayed. This is by Rich Vallata, all right? And then, remember News 3 Las Vegas TV digital report that figured me as spreading wrong information about steel, and they had to take it back because that didn't come from me, right? And now since then, all this stuff has been, you know, brought out, okay? So, all right? So, we have this. We have, let's see here. Where is it? Oh, by the way, all right, it is here. I'm reading I had this thing picked out to where I was going to read it just so, all right. And it has to do with, yeah, here it is. Okay, one of the steel subcontractors, Merrill Iron and Steel of Schofield, Wisconsin, is recorded in Mechanics Lane. And without editorializing too much, our steel fabricator who filed a lien has been paid every dollar that they've ever billed. So it's very curious and unusual in my experience, Webb said. Typically a lien is filed after you've exhausted other remedies to collect that which you are owed. And certainly to allege that you are owed something you haven't billed is rather unusual. And so rather creative, all right? That's his words, all right? And so my take on that is, and I sent a letter out to a number of parties, to an email, to find out, you know, what's going on and why this happened. But the bottom line is the lien is filed when you feel like you're not going to get paid. My question is, what happened to cause Merrill Steel to believe it wasn't going to be paid? Was it because the steel was late? Did they feel maybe that someone would withhold? Was the information they got regarding revenue streams? This is what it actually reads beyond the little blurb that I read to you from the Review Journal, which really this whole matter deserves its own article, okay? And what I'm about to read to you right now is called Notice of Lien. The undersigned claims a lien upon the property described in this notice for work, materials, or equipment furnished for the improvement of the property. Number one, the amount of the original contract is $179,413,551. The total amount of all additional or changed work and materials and equipment, if any, is at least $99,109,423.16. The total amount of all payments received to date is $93,401,156.98. The current amount of the lien, after deducting just credits and offsets, is $70,648,875.10. And I'm reading right from a document that's at the lvstadiumauthority.com website under a list of documents from the March 21st agenda. This one is called 6 Stadco Letter Re Merrill Iron. You can read that one yourself, all right? And so the original contract amount was $179,413,000 approximately. The approved change orders were to date $29,232,000. Pending change orders are $69,876,000. The adjusted contract sum, all right? And it's noted as the project is ongoing, Merrill writes that it reserves the right to supplement and amend that lien. In other words, add additional costs, okay, as additional labor and materials are provided to the project, the stadium, all right? So right now, it starts at stands, excuse me, at $278,522,924.16. Okay, the percent of the lien that's completed is 172 million dollars, $172,684,000. Less something called contract retention, which is 5%. That's 8.6 million. The amount that's been paid to date, and the amount that's been paid to date, 93.401 million, and the current amount that's due, including what's called retainage, is $70,648,000. In other words, they've already been paid 93 million. Okay, boom. The Merrill Steel has received 93 million, but they haven't received 70 million, or they claim that's what they're going to be due to receive in total there. Now, again, the question is, why did they do this now? What happened to make them think, hey, we may not get paid, right? Big question. It says the name of the owner, if known of the property, is Clark County Stadium Authority. So basically you have Clark County Stadium Authority that owns it, but also Stadco is responsible for constructing it. That's the Raiders. So basically Stadco, this is going to be interesting to see how this works out, because this points to the name of the owner, Clark County, but basically it's up to Stadco to make sure this gets paid, and it has to get its money from Clark County. So this points to a rather dicey situation at first glance. All right. Number 7, the name of the persons by whom the lien claimant was employed, or to whom the lien claimant furnished or agreed to furnish work, materials, equipment, is Mortensen McCarthy, Las Vegas Stadium, a joint venture. A brief statement of the terms of payment of the lien claimant contract is payment shall be made monthly, which means they haven't received all the payments they say are due. A description of the property to be charged with the lien is 333 Al Davis Way, Paradise, Nevada, assessors parcels numbers, you know, all that stuff, okay, if you followed this. And yeah, and this is basically filed by Gordon Reese Scully Menkosai LLP, the attorneys for Merrill Steel. They are Las Vegas-based attorneys. So then there's an additional, you know, they paid $40 filing fee. This was filed by the Clark County Recorder. And there is another attachment that shows that another document, a lien bond. It says, whereas Mortensen McCarthy joint venture in Oakland, located at 700 Meadow Lane in, interestingly, North Minneapolis, desires to give a bond for releasing the following described property owned by Clark County Stadium Authority from the certain notice of lien in the sum of $70 million in the office of the recorder in Clark County. All right, and so they say basically that now therefore the undersigned principal and surety do hereby obligate themselves to the lien claimant, and that is for $105 million. And they said they'll pay the lien claimant that amount as court of competent jurisdiction may adjudge to have been, you know, secured by the lien and that sort of thing. All right. So basically, this lien, they had a surety bond, which is common, that was to be filed, you know, in Minnesota. Okay, fine. But what is being claimed right now is, hey, you know what? We have a feeling we're not going to get $93 million that's owed to us. And the question is, why? But that's not the only problem here, all right? Here's another one. And this one comes from an organization you probably have never heard of called Tab Contractors. This is another letter. This is Stadco letter read tab claim. This is something you haven't heard about in the mainstream media. But it sits right here under the March 21st agenda for the Stadium Authority. And they put this in that day. In other words, the day prior to the Stadium Authority, they didn't have this document there. They didn't have this document there until later in the evening. At any rate, so, you know, it wouldn't be seen. At any rate, and then, by the way, it took an additional day for news about anything going out there to get out, all right? So you had to really dig. You couldn't find a live stream. I'm the only person, well, there was another person on Facebook that had been recording Las Vegas Stadium Authority meetings on Facebook Live prior to and just a little bit after the NFL's approval of the Raiders to move to Las Vegas, and then they sort of stopped. After that, if you were looking for anybody that had still video from start to finish of the Las Vegas Stadium Authority meetings, it was generally me. So at any rate, it says, this letter is to inform you, this is again a Steve Hill, this letter is to inform you that Tab Contractors, a subcontractor to Mortensen McCarthy Las Vegas Stadium and joint venture, has claimed its work was impacted due to, get this folks, get this, all right, alleged differing site/changed subsurface conditions encountered on the Las Vegas Raiders Stadium project, and further alleges it requires additional compensation related to the same. Basically what they're saying is, hey, look, this ground is tougher than we thought. We need more money to deal with it. That's what this says. And this too is dated March 12th, all right, of this year, March 12th, okay? So it says, it reads this. It is Las Vegas Stadium Events Company, LLC, Stadco's understanding that the Mortensen McCarthy joint venture is presently evaluating the merits of the claim. In other words, did they really have a subsurface problem or not? Ooh. And then they will handle the defense of the claim and is obligated to fully inform Stadco, that's the Raiders, regarding the status of the claim. Currently, MMJV has not submitted any portion of the claim to Stadco for payment. Ooh. And MMJV will not do so until it has completed its analysis of the claim. The question is, how long is that going to take? So basically, here's what's happening in lay terms, all right? Let's say you're Tab Construction, and you have three responsibilities. One of them is you're building or constructing underground utilities on the stadium site, all right? The other is you're preparing the surface. You know where all the portables are for construction? You, Tab Construction, have laid out the ground for that, all right? Those are the two things that you've done. And there's a third involving grading of the property, which seem to imply explosion, caliche explosions and everything else. I have to dig into that, but it just happens to be, it just so happens that I found some information called Tab Contractors, Las Vegas Stadium Authority, and Build Zoom, which listed what their responsibilities were and are at Las Vegas Stadium Authority. It just happened to, the internet's a great thing, right? For example, this is what I found. This is commercial plumbing at 333 Al Davis Way, Las Vegas. The stadium, all right? Says install underground utilities per plans for on-site building underground storm drainage, sanitary sewer, and portable water only. That means they were responsible for the new storm drainage system that was to be built when the Army Corps of Engineers came in and said that they had to move the channel, all right? And that was all part of that. So that was $5.3 million in value. The fee that they charged was $21,000, which sounds low, okay? So then there's commercial electric at 5704 Polaris Avenue, which, if I miss my guess, is the north, I believe it's the south part of the stadium where the portables are, okay? So basically setting up electricity to go to the portables, right? Install temporary overhead electrical for emergency NVE work due to on-site conflict per plans. What? On-site conflict per plans, okay? So that fee is just $4,200, but still, it's a low ball, all right? I mean, it sounds like they lowballed themselves to get the work, and then they got the work and realized that they really lowballed themselves, maybe too much. That's just how it looks at first glance, all right? So there's also more here regarding commercial grading. Over at that, it says grading of Las Vegas Stadium per plans. No off-sites or drainage facilities to be built with this permit. All right, that valuation was $41,000. That work was fee was $41,669. All right, so basically, that's what they're looking at, and basically they're going in and saying, hey, look, this isn't enough money to complete what we were charged to do. That's what this reads. All right, that's what this reads. Okay, so hey, Kenny G, you bought my shirt? Wait. Okay, this is cool. All right, you got it in the mail? Thank you, Kenny G. Wait a minute, this is to celebrate. You got my Zenny62.com shirt in the hey, man. That is awesome. Thank you. Kenny G, thank you very much, man. I don't know if you got disgusted and said, the heck with him, he's not noticing. I'm noticing it. Look at this right here. He bought this shirt, folks. This is it. Ta-da. All right. Look at that. Thank you, Kenny G. Very, very much. And if you're wondering what he's talking about, right over here, okay, you too can, as Barry has done and others, you can buy the Zenny62 shirt here, or you can buy the Oakland News Now shirt here, or you can buy my Racism is a Mental Illness shirt here, and I'm coming along with other shirts as well. They're all from Teespring. The $21.99 includes shipping, okay? And yeah, and this is awesome, man. Kenny, so hey, send a picture of you wearing the shirt, man. That's awesome news. Thank you so very much. That is really cool, man. So at any rate, back to what I was saying here. After that, okay? Now, we're going to tap contractors, all right? What happened was that they were basically responsible to remove the caliche, and grade means to smooth out the ground, okay? Smooth out the ground. And guess what? They found the problem, okay? They found the problem. So if you're saying, what does that mean? What does that look like, Zenny? Let me show you. I'll take you right to the site, provided I can find a decent daylight camera. I think I can, to give you an idea what's happening. Okay, because it's night now. Right now it's night, so we're getting darkness. Okay, but what they're referring to is here, right here. Okay, I'm just going to take you over what they're talking about. All right, look at this. All right, see this work that's being done? Tab was responsible for in part the digging here, and then the installation of utilities and drainage systems here. Okay, and that was really particularly on the outside here, but also for parts of the building as the building is being developed. But they also were, you can't see this over here, but you can see it up here. If I go up here and I go to North View, you can see what they were responsible for on the north side, and that's this temporary city of offices. This was Tab Construction, all right? And so they encountered some problem in the process of setting this up. What that problem was, I don't know. All right. So that's what is at issue. Now, the other problem, John Acosta says, I can see now there could be even longer delay in getting Las Vegas Stadium built because of this. Yeah, you know, John, I think the Tab issue is really important because it shows it signs a window into a possible problem that comes to, hey, this stadium was said to have, by Merrill Steel, an aggressive schedule. A lot of people walked in to get work, and it sounds like there's a disconnect between when people thought they were going to be paid for something, the difficulty of the work they took on, and the reality. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again, $1.8 billion was not what this stadium was going to cost. It was going to be north of that, and that's certainly turning out to be what it was the case. Definitely. So yeah, I think, yeah, John, you're absolutely right. There could be a longer delay, but the bigger question I have is, what, if any, impact did the whole pay-go problem have on this issue? What's the pay-go problem? The first 2 years of this project, the stadium hotel tax that was being collected went to the Raiders. Went first, not to Raiders, but it went to Clark County. It was collected. It was kind of stored up to be used for construction, and then last year, April, was turned over to the Raiders. And that happened a year ago, I believe, a year and a month ago. And then the Raiders were supposed to collect each month of the tax after that until December, when that stadium hotel tax revenue would be then diverted to pay for the monthly bond debt. Because the stadium hotel tax revenue was lower than was anticipated, that had to have impacted what the Raiders and Clark County thought they were going to have to spend in total on construction. And so, as a null hypothesis, as a guess, I'm thinking that what it looks like may have happened, and I have to confirm this, is that Merrill Steel got wind of this and said, hey, you know what? Okay, we may not get paid because of their problems with the revenue, A, because of B, this very aggressive schedule that's beyond our ability to meet in a timely fashion. If we can't meet that in a timely fashion, and yet Mortensen has a performance damage payment they have to make to the Raiders, they could foist that upon us. So we are going to protect ourselves by making sure that we get paid, and the only way to do that is to file a lien right now. That's my guess. Okay? It's unfortunate because it sends the picture that, hey, you know what? There's a money problem. And if there's a money problem, look, the worst case is if there's a money problem and workers aren't getting paid, and I'm not saying this is going to happen. Don't run off and say Zinni said this could happen, all right? But there could be a slowdown or stoppage. Heck, there may very well have already been that, but they kept it quiet. It's like, hey, you know what? Let's just not make any waves. We want to do something great for Las Vegas, right? So they don't make any waves. But you and I have heard again and again and again, and rightly so, that people in the Valley who are losing jobs to technology need jobs. And that there isn't a lot of construction workers to go around. That's the other problem, all right? So, you know, that was supposedly going to impact this construction, right? So what happens when you don't have a lot of workers, or as many workers as you anticipated, and then there comes the report behind the scenes that, hey, these guys aren't getting paid everything that they're supposed to get. Even though that may not be true, this report makes it look like that. Okay? So you either have reports of maybe they're not going to get all the money they were supposed to get, or in the tab construction case, they got work not fully understanding the difficulty of the project and the surface. They said subsurface, which means below. Subsurface means below. That means they had a problem. They found caliche someplace. I'm just interpreting this. They found caliche someplace that the imaging said it wasn't, which normally is the case, right? And in a project like this, and they had an issue. and they weren't compensated appropriately to deal with that issue. Now, if Mortensen turns around and decides it's going to drag its feet and not pay for that, that's nasty, man. That's a problem, okay? So this is not a perfect deal. Not a perfect deal, all right? Phew. Something else. Something else. Hey, Sean, how you doing? I am doing well. Hey, so let me, now that I've gotten that report out to you, let me shift gears and ask you about the NFL draft, because I want to do a mock draft this week. Can you all please tell me by either a Y or a no if you're interested in participating in the mock draft? Let me explain to you what that means. It means that it's a call-in. So all of you will be on a conference call, all right? And we would split the picks. Let's say if there are 4 people participating, you know, the first person, one person gets picked 1, the other person gets picked 2, the other person gets picked 3, the other person gets picked 4, and then we rotate again, all right? How many of you by yeses are up for doing that? I mean, I'm going to start the ball rolling by including myself as a yes. I know last year we had ML Scott participating. I believe Joseph Binsman participated. And a few other people. We had Raider Ed participated. We had a good group. We had Bill Carroll, my longtime friend, NFL draft friend, participated. So it's that. It's basically a giant conference call. All right. And so, and so it's, John Watson says, why are they waiting song from Marshawn? Oh, waiting so long? Oh, so Sean. Okay, that's 2 people. So it's myself and Sean. And Arquette is not participating. Cool. Marshawn Lynch. John Gruden wants, he believes that Marshawn Lynch represents the Raider image. And he has an attitude that he believes Coach Gruden believes that positively impacts the team, okay? That's the reason, all right? So, okay, so we have Sean and myself. I don't see Joseph Binsman. Maybe he left already. But I know Joseph's going to want to do this. John Acala said yes. He says, when would you do it? I would like to do this Thursday night of this week. Thursday, yeah. Jesus Murray says the Raiders should draft Josh Allen for the pass rush. Okay. I would like to do it. Maybe asking this another way. What days can you do it? Can you do it on Wednesday? Because I think Wednesday would be even better. Thursday, people tend to make plans to go out, that sort of thing. Traffic gets down. What about this Wednesday? Let me throw that out. So, yeah. And what I'll do is I'll send out an email and ask others to join. But right now, that's a good number to start right now. We've got we've got 3 people, and I know I can get 4th and a 5th. I know I can get 5 people, okay? It would be cool to get 10. Ideally, it'd be cool to get 30, but that would be a mess, man. No, 30 would be too much. 30 would be way too much. Yeah, Arcade says Warriors play Thursday. Okay, so Thursday's out, so we got to do Wednesday. All right. So I'm writing in, okay, it's Wednesday then. Yeah. So it's Wednesday then. All right. So it's Wednesday. Okay, so John calls Wednesday. Jesus says Wednesday. Okay, so we got Jesus. Jesus, you didn't write yes. So put a Y down there so I can mark you as yes. Okay, so you're just put a Y. I know you said yes, but just put a Y just to indulge me, so I know that I can count you, because we got you, John, and Sean and myself. That's 4. That's pretty good. So I can get 2 more. That's 6. Probably get 7. So we can get that going really quick. Cool. Absolutely cool. So, all right. I guess Jesus didn't hear me. I was looking for that Y. He got it! All right, woo! Where's Kenny? Hey, where's Kenny? Kenny can rock the shirt. He can rock the shirt, right? Kenny, are you still with us? Maybe not. Oh, by the way, it looks like Antonio's ready to be a Raider. Maybe he's gotten all that crap out of the way, hopefully. But did you hear about what Jack Del Rio said last week? That he was going to give the Raiders, he's going to be a pain in the ass to the Raiders. Which means Jack Del Rio is channeling that he would not at all have been responsible for bringing Antonio Bryant onto the Raiders. Yes, Sean, I did see Tiger Woods. I'm a big Tiger fan. Very happy for Tiger. If you go to Oakland News Now, you can actually look at my video blogs and my interview with longtime legendary sports writer Tommy Bonk, formerly of the LA Times, who also coined the name Phi Slamma Jamma for the Houston Cougars of 1983. That's right. Tommy's a longtime friend of mine. So yeah, he came up with that, Phi Slamma Jamma. And the reason, what happened was that he went to see the Houston Cougars, which is probably the best team never to have won the NCAA tournament, and featured Akeem the Dream Olajuwon. Went to see them play the University of Pacific, and they beat the University of Pacific 112 to 56. Okay, 112 to 56. And what was stuck in Tommy's mind was this image of all these players just dunking. And the NCAA then had just recently changed the rules to allow the slam dunk, because there was this fear that, they basically didn't want to have, some, dude taking over the game by just dunking. There was a feeling that, oh, you have to be able to shoot the ball. It was a ridiculous thing. Well, the NCAA, grew a pair and said, hey, you know what? It's okay, all right? It's okay. And so, Tommy's looking at this team, just flying, these guys flying through the air, dunking left and right. And so he came up, he said, what would the name of a college team be if it had a fraternity, if it was a dunking basketball fraternity, right? If it had its own fraternity around dunking the basketball. And so he came up with Phi Slamma Jamma. There you go. That has stood the test of time. Tommy Bonk, you can thank him for it. And so, John Cost says, are the Raiders the team that has signed the most free agents? Let's see here. NFL. Good question. NFL free agents. I don't know the answer to that. Agent tracker. 2019. Let's see here. NFL. Oh, that's not what I'm looking for. NFL free agency tracker. A moment. 2019. And this list was updated as of 3 days ago. Ooh. Who is my favorite Raider of all time? My favorite Raider of all time. Kenny Stabler. Easily. Snake Stabler. My favorite Raider of all time. Kenny. Easily. All right. Free agents. I like Howie. I saw Howie in Las Vegas earlier this year. Great guy. Nice guy. Okay, so big moves. Let's see here. All right, it has the top 50 players and where they went. But I'd have to sit down, John, and compute that, because I don't see in this article, I don't see a listing by team. In other words, who signed the most free agents. And where this is basically, for example, it's a Cowboys free agency tracker, but it's the key trades. In terms of the number, I can tell this is the Cardinals, what they did, but there's no tally that says, yeah, blank signed up the most free agents here. I mean, I'm sure somebody has it. I just haven't been able to easily find it, and I don't want to take up a lot of time. Hey, I know Raider guy, how you doing? I don't want to take up a lot of time searching it rather than talking, okay? So, unknown Raider guy, let me catch you up. First of all, Tiger Woods is a big Oakland Raiders fan. The Raiders celebrated his win. Sean Watson says, did I see Antonio Brown broken out of Cal? I did not. Did you? Now, unknown Raider guy says, Merrill steal a Raiders lawsuit? Could be. And let me catch you up, okay? To make a long story very short. All right. Hey, Sean, you have a picture you can send Zenny at Zenny62.com? At any rate, Merrill Steele says that they are owed $278 million total. They haven't been paid just over 90 million. A mechanics lien is something that you file when you think you're not going to get paid, or you're owed payment, and so that they did this now raises questions regarding monetary flows. In other words, do the combined entities of the Raiders as Stadco and the Clark County Stadium Authority have enough money to make payments in a timely fashion? This implies that they don't. The mechanics lien implies that they don't. I mean, it's a pretty nasty and drastic thing to do. And I'm interested in how the parties got to that. Someone said something. Someone said the wrong thing at some point in time to cause this. Okay? That's the first problem. The second problem involves Tab Construction and their claim that they haven't been paid enough money for subsurface problems that they didn't expect to encounter. Translation, hey, we found caliche here, and your imaging work didn't say it was gonna be here, and we had to deal with that. All right? So now you have to pay us for that. And Morrison McCarthy is saying, well, gee, we need to investigate that. And let's see if they do. Let's see what happens. That was March 12th. This is now, what, April 15th come Monday? Where are we? Next Stadium Authority meeting is in the month of May. So, Miguel says his favorite Raider is John Matuzak. Weed dude. Weed dude. And Unknown says they're putting the roof on now. Actually, they're not. Unknown Raider guy, they're not putting the roof on now. Okay? If you don't understand what you're looking at, okay, just say, hey, look, I don't understand what's going on, because they're not putting the roof on now. What they're doing is there are 4 truss span areas. They're installing one of the 4 areas in the front, all right? Remember, okay, it's balanced. You can't have a roof with one support side on it. So, all right? Then also note that they've got steel, and this is because of the materials delivery problem. They have now taken to storing as much steel as they can on the property site. Now, how that affects ingress and egress, all right? But that's what they're doing. And so they're trying to rush to catch up with the schedule, okay? And so, Unknown guy says, so it's the support of the roof that they're putting on. It's the support. Let me show you what I'm talking about, okay? So you can understand what you're looking at here, all right? Go back to the stadium cam and see if I can find the right angle here. And I'll go back to the gigapixel there. Go with this, run this, and let me see if I can let it run, and then when it gets to a particular point, I'll bring you down to see what's unfolding here, okay? Let me just move this up here. All right. Right. February 25th, that's March 12th. Nope, wait a minute. Oh, come on, move up here. There, okay. Here we go. Watch this, all right, as it comes through. Okay, this area, these are the stadium support areas here, okay? All right, so let me take that away. I want you to watch what's happening here. Watch what this crane does. And we'll look down here below at the materials that form. This is January, okay? And the trouble is that they've tightly focused this so you can't really see all that's going on, which is really bad. But you see how they're building this steel in place? This will eventually be a truss support, all right, that will lay horizontal. They've got this one, and see these two over here as well, all right? These two will be erected here to support this side of the roof. And this is where they're at. Notice this is going to fade because this is where they're at right now, okay? This is how far they've gotten. They still got a long way to go. You see how it faded out? All right, that's as far as they've gotten. So that is not the roof. They have a long way to go before they actually put the roof in. You have to put the structures in first, and then you have to put them in around the stadium as part of the steel structure that's there. And then also, there are other parts of the steel that haven't been filled in yet. Okay, so, all right. So the supports are not up. I mean, we just looked at that. Okay, look here. These supports are not up. So it's really, all right, look at this, all right? These supports are not up, Jordan. You're going to look at this and see that. These are not up, and they're not going to be up for some time. This one is still under construction, okay? As is this one, all right? So what you have to do, if you want to understand what this looks like, go and look at a model, an animation of the stadium and how these are supposed to be placed, and then look at additional drawings for what these supports are supposed to look like. Not only that, the truss span for the roof, do you know what it's, okay, isn't even here, all right? So you have to build these and then the truss span to support the roof, okay? It's not this circular affair that just sits on top of it like some sort of, like this cup, like you like that. It's not like that at all. What it is that it's a structure that is, it's like a jewel box, all right? So you've got, I'm trying to find an example here. The jewel box has two rails. Those rails will support the beams of the roof and the frame that holds the EFT fabric, okay? But in order for that roof to be supported, you have to build the truss span first. You can't build the truss span until you have the support for the truss span. Truss spans by their nature go across like bridges. They are a long way from installing that, all right? They're a long way from installing that, and they better not rush it. Just take their time. So that's where they're at. And then not only that, look, again, they're trying for an aggressive schedule. They need to just chill out. They need to slow down, chill out, just build it right, okay? So Jordan, no, the supports are not up. Please don't run around the internet saying that. You'll be spreading a lie. Okay, there you go. All right, so I would just say no, supports are not up, okay? And I like what Dave just wrote. He goes, yada, yada, so we get the Raiders in town, Oaktown for 2020. They know what they're doing. I 100,000,000% agree. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. First of all, look, the Raiders are going to get their stadium in Vegas. All right? Whether or not they can afford it is another question. That matter is outstanding. Okay? All right? Now, because these costs are going up like nobody's business, and where the Raiders are in no way favorably compares to where the Warriors are in terms of gaining $2 billion in sponsorships for its stadium to this point, okay? Think about it. The Warriors remained in the Bay Area in San Francisco, and Joe Lacob himself said that he could have built a similar stadium in Oakland. Why he didn't was politics. But that means that he could have gotten $2 billion in sponsorships in Oakland. The A's can do it too. The Raiders didn't have to rush off to Las Vegas. That's Mark Davis. That's on Davis. It's too late now. Well, theoretically. I'm going with the idea that this thing's going to get built. But I'm concerned that the Raiders can afford it right now. And they have not shown the Raiders, even though they have legends as an assist, the Raiders have not shown that they have been able to generate the necessary $1 billion in sponsorship revenues to pay it. And I'm not saying this as a wish fulfillment, like, oh, I wish they not. No. I'm saying, all right? I'm saying, okay, that that basically the Raiders are not in a position where they have that. Oh, and Jordan, first of all, my background's in architecture and urban planning. I know what I'm looking at. Okay, I don't care what some Yahoo says that doesn't have my background. That is not the full support structure for the roof. Okay, that is a column. Those are columns that support the truss spans. If you don't know what a truss span is, just type, I don't know what a truss span is, Eddie. Truss spans are by their nature horizontal. And they support weight, like over a length. That's what a truss span does. This stadium will have that truss span and those truss spans. So, sorry, all right? And so, you're not going to have that. It's not going to be designed like you think it's going to be designed. Let me put it that way, all right? Okay, so, and like, for example, you write, he has a video, the support's going up and rounded on the roof. The roof isn't there. I mean, you don't have to go to any place else. And this is what I'm talking about. This is what happens when you're dealing with people who don't know what they're looking at. I don't mean to offend, but I'm just being honest. Look. Okay? Look at this. There's no roof that's up. All right? The roof is over it, okay? There's no roof that's up. These are not right here. These are curtain walls. These are curtain walls. These are corner areas that will eventually support the truss spans that support the roof going across. These are curtain walls, okay? These are curtain walls. The design of the truss spans will be such that it will be one smooth design. I mean, a pretty cool one at that. But they are a long way from having that. And this is not the roof, okay? And these don't support the roof. These are curtain walls. Curtain walls are the design. Glass goes in here, all right? These are not designed to be load bearing. You understand? These are load bearing, all right? These are designed to be load bearing, but not these, okay? So it's very important to understand this stuff before you run around saying that. Because otherwise, you know, you end up looking like, all right? And that's okay because it's a learning process. And again, one thing you should be concerned about is that it gets done right. All right. My email is zenny@zenny62.com. Z-E-N, and I'll write it down here. Write it here. Z-E-N-N-I-E at Z-E-N-N-I-E 62, excuse me, .com. There, okay? That's my email. Cool. All right. So it's 2:17, and I am going to shuffle off to sleep. And stay tuned for more on this matter regarding the lien issue, stadium lien issue. I'll get the request on the free agency numbers, and Wednesday, thank you, Wednesday. Oh, Sean's going to send a video. Awesome. Wednesday, I'll make a special post on that if you send it tonight. Wednesday, we'll have our mock draft. I'll begin to plan for that. All right? Okay. And David says, once the trusses go up, the rest of the roof will go up fast. What does that mean? And why the emphasis on speed? Okay. Who cares? I don't care that it's fast. I care that it's done well. I don't want this thing ricketing apart. And not only that, I have faith in God. I don't have faith in people, especially with stuff like this. You better make sure this thing's done right, especially today. And I tell you, I say that, now you don't know that. Yeah, I mean, but so yeah, just do it right. That's what I'm saying, just do it right, okay? And I say it like that for this reason. Salesforce Transit Center, reminds me of something I'm supposed to do. I'll take care of that in a second. Salesforce Transit Center in San Francisco was built, but the contractor apparently didn't study when they were doing their change orders, installing their change orders in 2017 through 2018, didn't run tests of simple harmonic motion. Why do I say that? Because Salesforce Transit Center is a bus station that's about 1,500 feet long, 6 stories high. It's got a roof on the top that people are on. It's called Salesforce Park, okay? And basically it's a bridge. The buses run into it and they run out, okay? So as John Acala says, you have to, there's a lot of money in, you have to do it right. Okay, so what happens is that they opened the thing August 12th of last year. People come in, there's crowds, standing room only crowds throughout the place. People are on the roof, moving around. And then when the first week of the operation of the transit center, the people having these parties and then dancing, where people are doing this now deal where you read their headphones and you don't hear the music, but you dance to it, right? So it looks like people are just sort of writhing around like they're crazy. But what that produces is what's called, when you're dancing rhythmically, simple harmonic motion. So you have simple harmonic motion on the roof. You've got the buses producing harmonic motion running through, okay? You've got whatever's going on with the ground, which maybe include, you know, an earth tremor that may be like 2 on the Richter scale, or small, but still a tremor nonetheless. You have all of these forces, and what do they produce? Steel cracking. You know what I'm saying? Steel cracking. I'll repeat, steel cracking, okay? So they had to close the facility and do this all over again. They tried to say that the previous executive director was her fault. It wasn't. It wasn't. But all of that happened because they were trying to rush it, and because the San Francisco Board of Supervisors was interested in getting the thing done. They were concerned about the cost increase, even though when the project was first proposed in 1998, okay? That was before 9/11. Why is that significant? Because 9/11, the attack on the World Trade Center, introduced the need for additional security for large buildings, all right? which is something else you have to ask yourself. What kind of security is going to be in this building? If they don't have all that figured out, that's more cost. This is serious business, folks. You can't just act like you're, erecting a high school gym that some, pee-wee football team is going to play in. No. You're talking about something that's supposed to hold 65,000 people plus staff plus support people in it for an event that in many cases will be seen by hundreds of millions of people. It only takes one catastrophe. That's it. Just one. Just one. You don't want that to happen. So you need to start asking questions. You guys out there that are, pushing all this, deadline stuff like, oh, it's going to be ready on time, it's going to be hurried up. You know what? Stop it. Okay? Just knock it off. Make sure this thing is done right, and don't talk about this jazz about, well, I have faith. Have faith in God. When it comes to people doing a project like this, you don't want a challenger on your hands. In fact, that's how we got the challenger. You hear what I'm saying? Knock it off. Will you please? Stop it. Stop doing this stuff. Insist on things done right. Ask questions about it. Learn. It's fun. There's nothing more fun than understanding development, as Sean just wrote, intelligently. It gets done when it gets done. Ding! I could not agree more. And you know what? It's the fun of watching it get done in the right way. And then everybody can turn around and say, we did that. We did that. And it works. And it's strong. It's not just nice. It's tough. It can withstand anything. It used to be the kind of pride, right? But think about Bay Bridge. Had the bolt problem. Okay? I mean, look at all the structures around the United States. Look at the infrastructure that's crumbling, but also look at the structures that are replacing in some cases that aren't working right. We have to stop rushing things, and we have to stop lowballing the dollar amounts to get things done. That hurts us. It hurts you and me. This isn't a matter of Vegas versus, Oakland or any BS like that. Do it, as I said it before, if we're going to lose, I want us to lose to something that's done right. Financed correctly, designed properly, built well. Not too much to ask at all. Do it right, get it right. Take your time, make sure you got the money, move forward. That's it. All right, folks. Good night, everybody.